All right, so you're going to be a teacher. And let me tell you, you're about to be buried in learning resources. I mean, they are everywhere. But how do you find the good stuff, the stuff that really works? That's the real challenge. So in this explainer, we're going to build a solid framework for you. We'll cover how to store, evaluate, and even audit your materials so you can be sure they work for every single one of your students.
Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to start with what a modern teacher's library even looks like. Then we'll get into organizing your digital toolkit. After that, we'll tackle the big one, the quality check. And we'll wrap it up with the essential inclusion audit to make sure everything comes together in a truly inclusive library for your future classroom.
So let's talk about that first challenge. It's really just the sheer amount of stuff out there. Seriously, the days of just having a textbook, they are long gone. Now you've got YouTube, you've got interactive simulations, podcasts, apps, you name it. And while that's amazing, it can also be a lot. It's super easy to feel overwhelmed.
And that brings up two really big questions, right? First, the practical one, where in the world do you keep all this stuff? And second, maybe the more important one, how do you know if any of it is actually good? How do you sort through the mountain of files to find things that are high quality, effective, and, fair for every kid in your class?
Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we turn that chaos into something useful? It really starts with a mindset shift. You're not just a file collector, you're a curator, a professional curator of learning experiences. It sounds a little fancy, but it's a really important distinction. And just look at how diverse your toolkit is. We're talking about everything from real-life objects, we call that realia, things like actual coins or plant samples, all the way to the usual suspects like printouts, audio, video, and of course the big one, software that lives inside your school's learning management system, or LMS.
And this is so important. Getting organized isn't just about being neat. It's a key part of being a professional. Think about it. When your system is organized, you can grab that perfect resource right when you need it. It makes your teaching so much more powerful and on the fly.
So, when it comes to storing all your digital stuff, you've basically got two options. You can go local, think USB drives, your computer's hard drive. The big pro here is you don't need the internet. But, and this is a big but, what if you lose it or it breaks? Yikes. Then there's the cloud. Google Drive, your school's system, whatever. It's amazing because you can get to your files from anywhere, sharing is a breeze. The catch? You gotta have internet. Honestly, most teachers I know end up using a mix of both. Okay, so your files are organized. Check. That's step one. But now comes the really critical part. You've got hundreds of files, links, videos. How do you decide which ones are actually good enough to put in front of your students?
This is where having a system is a lifesaver, something like the sections framework. Just think of it like your personal quality control checklist. It gives you a structured way to look at any resource, an app, a video, whatever, and helps you go from, this looks kind of cool, to making a really solid, evidence-based choice.
Okay, the whole framework is great, but let's just zoom in on three really crucial parts. First up, S is for students. Simple question, is this right for your students? Their age, what they already know, the tech they have access to. Next, E for ease of use. Is it simple to use? Because let me tell you, nothing will tank a lesson faster than tech that just doesn't work. And finally, T for teaching functions. Does this thing actually help you teach what you need to teach? And this really gets to the heart of it. It's so easy to get wowed by some brand new fancy tech tool. But what this reminds us is that the best tool isn't the fanciest one. It's the one that works for your students and is actually easy to use. If it doesn't pass those two tests, it's just not the right choice. Period.
All right, let's talk about what I think is the most important step in this whole process. Because you can have a resource that aces every part of the sections framework, but if it leaves even one student out, then it's not a high-quality resource. You just can't separate quality from equity. They go hand in hand.
So this means we have to adjust how we look at things. We need to stop asking, is this a good resource? And start asking a better question. Is this a good resource for all of my students? That simple shift, that's a huge part of our responsibility as professionals.
And that's our mission right here. We need to be doing two key audits of our materials, one for special educational needs, or SEN, and another for gender. This isn't an extra step. It's absolutely fundamental to creating an inclusive classroom.
This is the big one, the ultimate question. And it's not just something to think about. It's a real, practical, non-negotiable question you have to ask about everything. Every worksheet, every video, every app. This one question has to be at the center of your practice.
So how do we do that?
It sounds like a huge task, but a checklist like this makes it so much more manageable. It takes this big, abstract idea of inclusion and breaks it down into simple, actionable questions you can ask about any resource.
So let's get specific. For the SEN audit, you're asking about basic access. Can a student with a visual impairment actually see it? Is there an option to read text if someone can't hear the audio? Does it require, really precise mouse movements that some students might struggle with? Then, for the gender audit, you're looking for stereotypes. Are men and women only shown in certain roles, or are you seeing a balanced picture? And all of this rolls up into that bigger question: is this content culturally appropriate and free of bias for all the kids in your room?
So you see how this all fits together? You've got your organized storage system, your quality check with the framework, and that super important inclusion audit. When you do all that, you're not just building a folder of files, you're building your professional library, a carefully chosen toolkit that's designed to be both effective and fair.
Think of this 4-step process as your new go-to workflow. Step 1. Collect and store things in a way that makes sense to you. Step 2. Evaluate them using a framework like sections. Step 3. Run that critical inclusion audit. And step 4, this is a big one, you revise and refine. You're always updating your library based on what actually works in your classroom. This whole cycle is what takes you from just being someone who uses resources to someone who is a professional curator.
So I want to leave you with this. You've got the tools now. You know the questions to ask. The next step is to actually do it. So think about it right now. What's one resource you love to use? A favorite video, a worksheet you always go back to? What's the first thing in your collection that you're going to audit for inclusion? Pick one. Start there. That's how you start building a better, more equitable classroom for tomorrow.